So a few days ago, Make.com announced the launch of Make AI Agents, which is their agentic feature where you can create these autonomous workflows within Make. And this is something that can really take the idea of being able to build in Make to the next level. It's currently in beta and they're rolling out to different accounts. I noticed that I actually have it in one account, but don't have it in another one of my accounts. In this video, I want to, first of all, start with the progression, go through the progression of workflow automation from before these large language models and generative AI even came about up until where we are now. And then I want to go through and actually do an example of creating an AI agent within Make. So, workflow automation. Now, when you think about pre LLMs, pre ChatGPT, the way these automated workflows would go, uh, and still to this day, how a workflow may go is you have some sort of trigger. So let's say, for example, you're dealing with a scenario where you have information on a Google Sheet, and then you are using that information to then send out emails and notifications to a list that you have. Maybe it's a lead list, maybe it's it could be any kind of list. And so you would have a trigger. Maybe that trigger is a new a new document or sheet comes into Google Drive, and so that Google Drive will be getting watched to see what information is coming into it, and then once it triggers, then the automation will go. The next step, maybe you have in Gmail, you're gonna have an email that gets sent out, and you have already pre-written what is gonna go out within that email, and then from the sheet that's in the Google Drive, you can map the information of the person on that the people on that list. So maybe it's the email address is included in the list. Maybe it's the names and the information about the people. If it's a lead list, maybe it's you're doing some sort of follow up, or you're communicating with that particular contact, and you have pre-written content for the email that's going to go out, and maybe you also send out a text, and it's a similar kind of scenario. So that is what it is when you think about a traditional kind of automation. Now, when you go to an AI powered automation, which is what we've seen, and what kind of, I believe, really created a surge with these workflow automation tools like Make and the Zapiers, is you're able to infuse these large language modules, or the generative AI modules, models, and video models. And so, in this very same example, to use this idea of, let's say if you have some sort of contact list that you're looking to reach out to people with, you could infuse something like a chat GPT into that workflow, to where when you send out that email can be personalized to the people who are on that list. So maybe you're taking from the information of the individuals on that list, and you are putting that into a large language model step, and you prompt the large language model to create a personalized intro, or to comment something positive about the person, but to personalize it in some sort of way. And that's an example of one of the ways that these large language models, and one of the many ways that these large language models are able to create a level of flexibility and enhance these automated workflows. And then you send out an email, and you send out a text, but it's more personalized and individualized to the people on that list. It isn't doesn't necessarily have to be pre-written in each instance. And so that's where we've been in the realm of AI and automation. So now, with the launch of this AI agent feature and concept within Make, there's even now greater flexibility. So now, taking that very same example of a lead list or a contact list where you're contacting people on that list, that sheet will get added to, let's say, a Google Drive. But then now, with these AI agents, what they have is access to tools. So if you think about Gmail and Twilio, as we were discussing for SMS, what you'd be looking at is in this scenario, you're able to create this agent that has access to these different tools. And so that Gmail module, which, and you'll see it when we do an example of building out one of these agents, the Gmail module will actually be in a scenario of its own. And so would the Twilio module in this case. And you can literally give access, literally give the agent that you create access to these scenarios. And those scenarios are considered tools, which are platforms that they're able to pull from and use to accomplish a goal. So whereas with previous concepts, it's more of a specific process, and it's more of a defined process. With these agentic kind of workflows, the emphasis is more on the goal and the task that's given, and the AI now has more of an influence and is able to make decisions in how it's going to get to that goal. And you can provide instructions and guide it on how it gets to that goal. So in this case, you would provide the agent with instructions to take the information on the Google Sheet and to email the contacts on the sheet and to send text messages to the contacts on the sheet. And unlike an AI powered workflow where it's done in succession and there's still a level of that predetermination. With the agentic workflow, the agent goes off and accomplishes the goal, and it can happen in more than one specific kind of way. And you can provide instructions for it to be, maybe more of a predetermined kind of process, but it just has more of a free reign to achieve the goal. And so the beauty in this is that there's greater flexibility. It's less static, and it's very similar to when you think about you have other platforms, right? Workflow automation platforms like Zapier or N8N, for example. And N8N already has an agent module, an agent feature where it can use these different tools. Uh, and so Make now adding this AI agent feature kind of now puts it on that same sort of playing field or plane as an N8N. And I'll say that I was very impressed with the trying out the AI agents in Make. I didn't have much trouble with getting it to function. And a lot of times with these AI tools and as new kind of products come onto the market, there's a concept of how it's supposed to work in practice, but that how it's supposed to work in theory, but then when you actually put it into practice, it doesn't necessarily comply. So I was happy to see that it actually did the functions that I intended for it to do. So what I want to go and do is I'm gonna go and I've already done this, but for the sake of the video, I want to redo this, which is to create a text agent, and it's going to be for a very practical scenario. So let's say, in the case of if you're running a service business, and if you're someone watching this video, you may be running an automation agency, you may be running another sort of service business, or you may be an entrepreneur looking to just automate your workflows in general. And let's say you are in a scenario where you meet a person at a networking event, and maybe you exchange business cards or contact information. Uh, but one of the key pieces within your businesses is you want to make sure you're always getting the contact and adding them into your CRM in the case where it's a prospect or someone who you may be able to do business with. And so this agent is going to be an agent that it's a text agent where you'll be able to text a number from your cell phone that will add appointments to a Google Calendar, create appointments in your Google Calendar, but also update or add new entries to your CRM. And these are two examples of tools that will be used: CRM tool and calendar tool. But it's not limited to that. You could add more tools to an agent like this and be able to have it do a variety of different different functions, which again, when you look at previous concepts like the AI powered or just the straight traditional automation concepts, that with the scenario, you now have more variety of ways that these workflows can be embedded into your operations. So I'm going to go ahead and create an agent. And so what's pretty cool about this is that Make already kind of gives you a variety of different LLMs that you can use. So if you look at the connection type here, you have everything from OpenAI to Anthropic, Mistral, which is open source, Grok, which is also open source, XAI, Gemini, and Cohere. And so I'd already had one connected. I actually currently have, I believe it's Grok connected. But if you don't have something connected, you're going to want to pick one of those and then go to the site for that platform. So if it's OpenAI, you can connect the OpenAI through here, through the connection here, and then you're going to have to go to OpenAI website and get an API key. And so now the agent name, I'm going to call this, I'm going to say text demo, and then the model. So I was already connected to XAI, so it's going to be Grok. So now the system prompt for this. So these are the instructions that you're providing, the role rather that you're providing the agent with. So what role is this agent going to play? So uh, I said that this is an agent that's going to be able to add people to a CRM and also be able to create calendar events. So create meetings on a Google Calendar. So I'm going to say that, put that simply, you are an agent who is able to add new prospects to CRM and create new meeting on a calendar. So I'm going to say to an Airtable CRM, that's what we use for the CRM, and create new meetings on a Google Calendar. And then we're just going to go ahead and save that. So that's a system prompt. Then you have system tools. These system tools are the tools, and you're going to see when we do one of the examples of the tools, they're just scenarios with the apps that are used for that scenarios. The system tools are what the agent always has access to. And so in this case, we're just going to leave this as it is for now, and then we're going to just save it. So this agent has now been published. If you go look in your regular scenarios, you'll see that I called it text. What did I say? Text demo. Okay, so the agent has been created, and so now from here we have to configure the agent. So all right, so now we're gonna go ahead and create a scenario, and so in the scenario, what we're going to do is let's start with the agent. So make AI agent is the module. You're going to click on run an agent, and so the agent we're going to choose is that text demo that we just created. We don't have any agent level tools because we said we weren't going to include agent level tools, and so the tools that it will be able to choose from would be additional tools. We don't currently have the tools made for this, so we're going to have to go ahead and do that. And so if I duplicate this tab, and then we're going to open up a new scenario in order to create the tools. So so we can start with the calendar agent. So we're going to look up a Google Calendar, and we can create an event. All right, so I already have a calendar connected, and so use my primary calendar, and then we need to have these fields filled out. So then what you do is that you're actually going to go down and you're going to add a scenario input. So these inputs are going to be what goes into the fields within the module, the calendar module in this case. And then when you are calling the agent or using the agent, it's going to be able to fill in those inputs based on the information that it receives. And so in this case, the examples are so event name, which would be the title of the meeting, and then the start date, end date, duration. Okay, so we're gonna go start date. We can put start date. This is the date of the meeting. That's the text required. No, we're gonna put event. Actually, let's save this really quickly. Or hold on. Event name. Okay, event name, end date, and duration. All right, so let's go event name. This is going to be the the title of the meeting. All right, duration, the length time meeting will go on, or start date, and that should be good. All right, so we have start date, event name, duration, and then start date, event date, duration. All right, and so then we come back in here, click cancel, and then click it back again. If you click on, okay, add your calendar, then if you click on the event name and then go into here, this brackets area, you'll be able to add in the scenario inputs, and then add in that start date, add in the duration, and then you're going to go ahead and save that. And that's actually it. And just to also mention, with these scenarios for the agents, they are only going to be able to get active if it's either on demand or it's immediately data comes in. And so for this particular module, there is no option for immediately data comes in, so it's going to be on demand, and you're just going to save that. And that's going to allow, so you're going to activate this, and that's going to allow it to allow the agent to be able to pull from this when you create that, finish setting up the agent. So we have one of the tools now. So now we've created this calendar tool for our text agent. And so now we're going to make another scenario. All right, so this scenario, this is going to be the CRM tool. So we're going to create a record, and I'm going to use a CRM lead booking connection that I have. And then we're going to, you know what, actually, realize I got to add. So I created a blank CRM for the sake of this example. So I'm going to have to add that CRM. And so if I'm going to have to add a new connection, I'm just going to say, CRM demo, just for the sake of this. Add a base, CRM demo, grant access. Oh, all right, so it looks like it's having trouble adding. Yeah, it's an O off, which means that I may have to add it as I may have to add the token. API keys will be deprecated. Okay, so I'm going to have to add a personal access token, which means I have to go to Airtable to do that. All right, so I got the access token. That's something that you have to add within Airtable. If you'll find the Builders Hub within Airtable, where you'll be able to generate an access token, kind of like an API key. So we got the access table, and then I'm choosing one of the tables in my CRM. So okay, so in this CRM demo, the way I have it set up is I have a sales funnel, and that's all that really matters for this demo. I also have a few other tabs, but for this demo, it's a sales funnel, which kind of gives you different information for a prospect. So the name, email, phone number, company name, status, either intake, meeting booked, proposal sent, closed one, lost the deal, the URL for the meeting, and just other information about the company, and then the different views where like you have you can view the status, you can view for whether a proposal was sent and whether the deal was closed. So now what we're going to be doing in this case is when you meet a person on the outside, you'll be able to send a text message to a number with the person's information, and it'll just get automatically added to the CRM. And so in this case, you have, okay, full name, email, phone number, company name. And so with the status, it's going to be an person for the intake, because they haven't yet necessarily booked a meeting, right? So it'll be intake for the status. And then we'll fill these out right here. So name, email, number, company name. So we're going to go here just like we did with the Google Calendar example, scenario input. So you're going to say name of prospect, email address of prospect. You can say number, phone number of prospect. And the one other one was the company name. Then company name of prospect. Company, I'm going to have to put an underscore here. All right. And then when we look up in here, we should have the information. So name for the full name, email for the email, phone number, and then company name. All right. And that's it. So we've literally created this tool. So now we have, I'm going to change this. We'll save it, change this to on demand, save, activate scenario. And let's actually change this. Let's rename this scenario to, we could say Airtable tool demo. And then we'll change this other one. I already left the page for the calendar one, the Google Calendar one. I wanted to change that as well. Let's save these changes. What was this one right here? I want to say Google Calendar tool demo. All right. So now we're going to go to the agent, and this is going to be a text agent. So we're going to be texting a number that will then call the agent to make decisions, like to achieve a particular goal that you have. And so this is going to require Twilio for SMS. And so with Twilio, we're going to be watching messages that come in. It's going to trigger when a message comes in. And so it's going to be I have a particular Twilio number. And so you will need that. Let me get that number out for it to work. So this is my Twilio number right here, and then it's going to be coming from my cell phone number. I'm going to write this in, and then to save this out, because I prefer not to give out my actual number right now. And so that means the Twilio module will be triggered when I send out a text from my actual phone number, and then that trigger, which will have the information that was in the message that I sent to that Twilio number, will then go to this make AI agent. And so now within this AI agent, to finish setting it up, we're going to add those tools that we created earlier on. And so the scenarios for that will be was a demo, right? So let me refresh this. It's not coming up. Let's see what the case may be. Airtable tool demo, Google Calendar tool demo. Let's try this. Then when I click cancel and then come back in, it'll usually update correctly. Okay, here we go. Airtable tool demo, which is active. And so this Airtable tool demo, so now you're able to add context around this. So for the Airtable tool demo, the description is this tool is to be tasked to add the prospect information to the Air database. So add that in. So now it has access. Oh, whoops, I didn't choose agent. Text demo. Okay, so now it has access to this tool. And then we're also going to add the Google Calendar tool demo. This tool is tasked to create a Google meeting when requested via text. So now this agent has access to this Airtable tool and its Google Calendar tool. And I mentioned this earlier that you can actually add other tools. So if you wanted to have tools that did more than add the prospect to the CRM, maybe it's a tool that modifies the CRM or a tool that deletes from the CRM. If you wanted to have a tool that connects to a project management system or connects to any module that you could really think of, this is the beauty of this kind of function within Make, where it's able to communicate and work with these different tools. So now if we go down further, you're now able to provide the message from the Twilio module. So within here, we're going to enter the prompt that we sent to the agent. So we've provided the agent with the system prompt, which if we go into the text demo here, this is the system prompt. This is the role that it plays. Now within here, this is the actual instructions. And so the instructions are going to be create a meeting create a meeting and create an entry in the Airtable CRM, create a meeting in Google Calendar and create an entry in the Airtable CRM when requested. The information to use is as follows. And that's going to be from the Twilio scenario. So this body right here. And then we may want to, all right, so I'm going to be adding additional system instructions because I was met with an error when I tested this out the other day, and that error was with the duration. It wasn't providing the right formatting for the duration of scheduled meetings. And so I actually just put this into ChatGPT. I had put the error into ChatGPT, and it gave me back this information saying that when scheduling meetings, always include both a start time and an end time in the response in this particular format. All right, and then just to add, you can also put in additional messages if you like. And so there's a lot of just context that you're able to add and just information that you're able to provide so that the agent has everything it needs in order to thrive, basically. And so that is everything that we need. Now, as far as the timing of it, and we're going to test this out, but as far as the timing of it, you can do it in different intervals. You can run it on demand. Run it on demand. We're going to test this out on demand. So we're going to activate the scenario. And so the way this is going to work is I have my cell phone, and this has the number to the Twilio account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in as if I, let's say, met someone at a networking event. Maybe the person's name is, I don't know, Jordan Keynes, and I'm going to put it as if I'm looking to add this person to the CRM, and then also book a meeting with the person. And so I guess in this case, so typically you'd be adding them to just like the intake, right? But in this case, I realized I actually made one of the scenarios intake. So I'm going to go back to the booking demo, and I'm actually going to make the, oh, you know what? Whoops, that was the wrong one. I meant to go to the CRM demo. So this is going to be, the status is actually going to be meeting booked, because like we're going to do it as if we're booking a meeting. And then, all right, so I'm saying name Jordan Keynes, email jordan@gmail.com, phone number, let's say, 918-345-6876. And then we'll say company name, Keynes. And then I'm going to say, please add the following contact to our CRM and book a meeting to our Airtable CRM and book a meeting with Google Calendar for let's say April 17, let's say April 21st, 2025 from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. All right. So I'm going to send this message. So if you see this message got sent, I was just like adding it, just like literally typing it in on my phone. Then I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it here. And so if you picture it in reality, in real life, this would be set to run periodically. So maybe you would have it set, rather than it being on demand, maybe it's running every 15 minutes, maybe it's running every hour. And so then each time it runs, then any context that you had gotten would then be, it will call the agent to make the updates. So I'm gonna run this once. All right, so it got that message, and then we're gonna look to see what actually happened. So if I open this up, you can see here that it said, okay, this was the instructions. The response: I've added Jordan Keynes to the Airtable CRM and scheduled a meeting on Google Calendar. Is there anything else you need? So it looks like there wasn't actually an error. I just got an error in my email. You know what? I just realized I have an issue here. I never put in an email. I never put in a bunch of. Okay, so there are a couple of additions that I need to make here. Oh man. All right, so let me look at advanced settings. The description of the meeting. I'll say, discovery call. Don't mind me. It's kind of 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm recording this, so it sounds like I just need some sleep. Our description, location. We could put Google Meet. We'll put email attendee. I'm gonna put that should be. So we're gonna need a name of the attendee. Also, name of the attendee, email. Let's save that. All right. Come back here. Let's try this again. So I am putting it through, and then I'm going to run this. All right. Let's see. That was likely the issue right there. That I didn't have the email of the attendee. So I mean, how was it going to go through? All right, so I have added Jordan Keynes to our Airtable CRM and scheduled a meeting on Google Calendar. And so if we go to the CRM, you see Jordan Keynes was added in here: name, email address, phone number, company name, status, meeting booked, and then the time is April 21st from 6 to 6:30 p.m. So if we go to our Google Calendar. So for some reason I booked it from April 21st at 6 p.m. to 1 p.m. That's weird. That's very strange. All right, let me delete this. All right, so I'm trying this again. If you go to the Airtable, you should see a second entry pop up because we're trying this again. If you go to the Google Calendar, for some reason it keeps booking from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. to 1 p.m. the next day. I'm not sure why. So I think the issue is that I didn't have an end date, and then I added other variables as well, including location, the attendee and the attendee email, of course. So save this and go back and try this again. Let's see. So popped up in the CRM. All right, so the meeting is here with Jordan, 6 to 6:30. If we click on it, you see 6 to 6:30. It says location to be determined because we didn't put a location in the text. guestjordan@gmail.com. We have the info in the CRM here: full name, email, phone number, company name, status, meeting booked. And so that is it. So just to kind of recap, the way this works, agent here to where you can send a text from your phone to a number that's connected to the SMS service Twilio, and that message gets sent to the agent. The agent has access to two tools: this Airtable tool and this Google Calendar tool, and these tools are their individual scenarios that you can create. And when you send that message, you are able to send a message in different ways, and the agent will interpret that message and then take action based on what it interpreted. So then you're able to provide additional context, like additional system instructions here, and you have the two messages here, one for the uh, meeting, and then one for the Airtable a CRM, and then you could add as many tools, more tools than you currently have. And so let's go back to where we started with. This is where we're at now in terms of workflow automation, right? I started with these static modules to where you're able to infuse the large language models through this conversational and generative AI. And then now it's becoming more agentic to where you can provide a large language model with tools that it can use to make decisions to get you to uh, a goal, to help you achieve a goal. So I hope that was helpful. Again, this is the beta for the AI agent feature within Make. I'm sure that there are still some kinks to work out. It took me a little working through this to really be able to get it down. Without the errors, and I think the issue was, well, first I didn't have an email for the attendee, and then I should have had an end time or end date as well, and because it went into the next day when I didn't have an end date. So even though I did have an end time, but that's neither here nor there. Let me know what you think. Um, how do you guys feel about the AI agents within Make.com? There are a bunch of different kind of scenarios I could think about for something like this, and I think even a lot of the existing templates that existing, whether it's automation, traditional automation, or AI powered automation workflows that I've done and that have been up can be modified to include the AI agents, and I'm very interested to see how this does in comparison with N8N. And I believe just from kind of seeing how this AI agent feature in Make.com is structured, I feel like Make took their time on this, and that this was really done in a way that it's practical to business workflows. So, yeah, look forward to seeing where it goes, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. But yeah, this is the Make.com AI agent feature.